There you go. Now we're live. I don't do pre-recording, so hi guys. This is my woman, and she's never watched Joyner Lucas, so we're gonna introduce her to some Joyner Lucas, some Ross Capicchion. It's a fucking crazy story, and
Play it.
it's actually happened. You gotta give a little intro, a little bit pre-production plan. You can't just
Play the video now.
okay.
Woke up at 7, my day seemed more than I prayed for. Got dressed to head out and ride to school on my skateboard. New kid in class, I sat alone taking notes while the hoodlums were making jokes at the clothes that my mama paid for. Seemed like everyone was a part of some gang invasion, tattoos and initiation, parole and some on probation. Soaking up the vibe as I study for information, cause lately I've been deprived of a normal day. But today on my way to eat lunch, some kid approached me. He told me we should be cool if only he got to know me. Cause on the side of town I would need some protection. It's crazy, reckless and dangerous unless I'm some sort of gangster. I'm only safe with the police. He said his name was I dapped him up at the buses. Was kinda skeptic about him at first cause I didn't trust him. And the more I got to know him, I couldn't tell what his motives were, hoping that he was sincere. Something told me let go, but the only thing on my mind was patience. Searching twice for a different life, I was tired of waiting. Plus me and
It looked like regular lunchroom.
No, that fool looks funny.
That's the back in the
This is
day.
exactly why I didn't eat lunch.
You had the square pizzas,
Yeah, but that shit was good. And we used to have chicken teriyaki with rice. That shit was banging.
That's wild.
That shit was banging. We
You
didn't get
must have went
lunch.
to accounting school.
I did.
Good shit.
You went to high
had
school.
similar views.
You can hear it, right?
Yeah.
Conversations infused with knowledge, mainly about school and college. That was my truth, but regardless, he was type cool when I was with him. Introduced him to my family, they were rocking with him. My mama told him, make sure you look out for my son. And before she could finish her sentence, he quickly just interjected and said, don't you even stress that I got it under control. It's been 2 months since we met, it seems like we've gotten close. Some cat approached me and tried to beef with me, I just froze. And I see pounding and stomping homie rid out his clothes. Called me his brother and told me he got me to the fullest. Even if that means bullets, bullies, gangs, AKs, and choppers to they killers. That's the realest shit I ever witnessed. A few weeks later, my uncle sold me a Honda Civic, a 93 with no license plates and no registration. Just thinking about every place I'ma go when I finally get it. And then he asked me for a ride around the block, some distance from where I was parking. Instantly, I knew that spot was sketchy. My mama would kill me. My intuition told me not to. I knew it was wild, and plus I knew it had no business or place on that side of town. And I read about some chick who went lurking without a sound and got murked and a body found in the dirt with 1,000 rounds. It was worse than abandoned buildings, abandoned villas, and scammers and killers provoking gangsters. But maybe I'm overthinking. Maybe I might be straight just as long as I pump the brakes and try not to think about it. Just trust I'll be fucking safe. And then I told him, let's go. Hop in. He dabbed me up and started telling jokes the whole ride there. Had me cracking up as we were getting closer. I felt funny. My stomach turned. And then he told me go left, make another turn, go right, and drive slow. As I looked, it was all abandoned and quiet, not a single person in sight, and nobody standing. And right when I pulled the car to the side, he said right here, sit still, turn the car off and chill. And I started to panic, he told me relax. Then he pulled the keys out the ignition and hopped out and laughed. Then my light flashed in an instant. He inched to my driver door and I tried to lock it. I couldn't. He ripped me right out my seat and then grabbed the side of his jeans and then put out the shotty. And all I heard was a screech and he shot my arm into pieces. I'm thinking I must be dreaming. And another shot to my chest and my stomach squeezing my breath and my lungs collapsing. I'm down on my fucking knees asking him why. He looked at me. I looked him dead in the eyes and he smashed my face with the barrel. Knocked all my teeth to the sky. And I heard a sound of the shot. He cocked back. He pressed the heart against my head and blew my fucking top back. Boom. I'm still conscious, I'm breathing. I'm still moving, no clue as to why I'm not dead. All this blood that I'm losing and I heard my car drive off. Then I looked up and seen the sun and that was all that I saw. Then I heard my conscience tell me, get up, nigga, get up. You're losing blood, oh my. Don't fall asleep or you'll die. Stay awake and move as much as possible, there's no time. Find some help and try to yell, you ain't too well, oh God. Wake up.
The dude that's rapping is the dude that shot him.
Oh, I about to say,
Yeah,
that's
that's
a white man saying nigga a lot.
that's Joyner.
Nigga,
He got another song that's like that. It's fucking.
wake up. Wake up, nigga. Wake up.
He was shooting in his car.
So what you think?
That's it?
No,
3 minutes left.
there's another part. That's just the first part.
I mean, I like the song.
You like the song,
Yeah, and
the story.
story cool. I mean, it's kind of sad, but it's life.
That's life. It ain't my fucking life.
I mean, it's something
Shit.
life. It ain't my life, but it happens in other people's lives.
Jesus Christ. Man just got shot in the chest, the arm, and the head.
Woke up at 7, my day was worse than I prayed for. Got dressed to head out and down the stairs from the 8th floor. New kid in class, he sat alone taking notes while my niggas were making jokes at the clothes that his mama paid for. Had no family, but was cool with the local gangsters, tattoos, and some on parole and probation for breaking rules. That life was all I knew, all I wanted to do was cruise, smoke weed and say fuck school. Wanted guidance, cause all my role models I would look up to was indicted the young dudes with no logic. I went to church to the pastor, said fuck you, now violent. And this gang that always looked out for me, vouched for me and adopted me, said they wanted to rock with me and I wanted to get down. Guess there was something missing, everything comes with a price. But there's only one condition, all you gotta do for initiation is kill an innocent victim and leave them there with no witnesses or no snitches. If you do that, you be down with the clique. And that's for life, so don't you ever think you're getting out of this shit. I thought about it. Soaking up the vibe as I study for information, trying to choose my victim, plotting the weakest prey. But today on my way to eat lunch, I approached him and told him we should be cool if only I got to know him. Cause on his side of town, he would need some protection. It's crazy, reckless, and phony, unless he's some sort of gangster. He only saved with the police. He said his name was I dapped him up at the buses. Was kinda skeptical about me at first cause he didn't trust me. Then the more he got to know me, he couldn't tell what my motives were, hoping that I was sincere. But little did he know I was trying to snake him and pop and break him. Just need the perfect opportunity, I'm tired of waiting. Had murder running through my head, I knew the death was coming. He introduced me to his family, I was jealous of him. His mama told him, make sure you look out for my son. And before she could finish her sentence, I quickly just interjected and said, don't you even stress it. I got him to the fullest, even if that means bullets, bullies, gangs, AKs, and choppers till they kill us. I was lying to the fucking limits. Took advantage when he said he had that Honda Civic. A 93 with no license plates and no registration. Just thinking about every place I'ma go when I finally kill him. And then I asked him for a ride around the block, some distance from where he was parking. Instantly I knew my chance was coming, I'm ready to drill him. Then he told me, let's go, hop in. I dapped him up and started telling jokes, the whole ride did. Had him cracking up as we were getting closer. He felt funny, I think he knew something was coming. That look he had was enough to tell me, but fuck it, go right and drive slow. As he looked, it was all abandoned and quiet, not a single person in sight, and nobody standing. And right when he pulled the car to the side, I said right here, sit still, turn the car off and chill. Then he started to panic, I told him relax. Then I pulled the keys out the ignition and hopped out and laughed. Seen his light flash in an instant, I inched to his driver door. Then he tried to lock it, he couldn't. I ripped him right out of the seat and then grabbed the side of my jeans and then put out the shotty. I cocked it twice till he screamed and then shot his arm into pieces. I'm watching his blood leaking and another shot to his chest. Seen his stomach squeezing his breath and his lungs collapsing. He down on his fucking knees asking me why. He looked at me, I looked him dead in the eyes and I smashed his face with the barrel, knocked all his teeth to the sky. And then sound of the shot, he cocked back. I pressed the hard against his head and blew his fucking top back. Fucking car. Fuck. Fuck. Hey, get the fuck out my way, you faggot. Fuck. Oh, shit. Fuck, come on. Come on, pick up, come on. Yo. Yo, I did it. I killed him. Yo, I had that nigga screaming. I just fucking blood everywhere.
Don't talk too much over the phone. Meet me at the spot.
Alright.
Alright, one.
Yeah, that was good.
It's a good song. It's a crazy song.
What are you doing?
Going to show you the dude. There he is right there.
The NFL season is here.
They are
showing out with the pregame fans.
Show me where to get that.
My pen for print.
All right, we're ready. Go ahead whenever you.
Oh, it happened like I was a junior in high school, 17-year-old punk shit. Just doing my thing, skating, hanging out.
What I mean is basically there's no.
This kid supposedly was supposed to be my friend, and I knew this kid for 10 years prior before this day. He asked me, hey, can you give me a ride to my cousin's house, down in the D? All right, yeah, well, like what part? Like the west side or the east side? And he's like, the east side. And I was like, nah, man, I don't got no business on the east side. He's like, no, it's cool, man. Like the east side, that's like 7 Mile, like, it's like a third world country. The police, they won't stop and get out the car. They won't pull you over. If there's gunshots, they'll wait till everything's clear and they'll come pick your body up off the street and that's it. He's like, please, man, please. I'm like, no. So like a week goes by, you know, I'm still telling him no, like, because I had a feeling like, don't go down there. Kept asking me, I'll give you 30 bucks for gas, all this shit. I'm like, all right, whatever, you know, you're my friend. I'll take you down there. I go to school that day and I get out and everything seems normal. We go to the gas station, he gives me the money for gas. We drive down there. So I get off and it's just like, I get that eerie feeling like you're in a bad spot. But it's like broad daylight out, beautiful day like that today. And we're driving and he's telling me where to go and we pull out on the street and you know, there's people outside and he's like, all right, that's the house right there. So he's like, you know, pull around back in the back. Like when I turned the corner to go right, like I seen it was like caution, like do not enter and all this shit, but I still, you know, because I knew him for so long, I just thought, you know, it's the D, it's, you know, whatever. There was a fence, like a grass area, my vehicle, and then houses right there. So it was like, nah, I wasn't in the middle of nowhere or anything. And like I get out, and he gets out, and like, it's only a couple seconds, I'm looking around. My ears are ringing, I'm like, man, that was close. And I kind of just glanced down, and my arm's just hanging off like a zombie. And I'm just looking at it, I'm like, yeah, this is, you know, it's not real. And I kind of shake it off and look again, and it's just hanging off my arm. And I'm like, okay, then it kicks in, like blood, like flowing, like an animal. And then I look up, and this kid's just holding a shotgun, like 10 feet away from me, just holding it right at me. And I asked him, I said, like, did you shoot me? And he just blew a hole in my chest like this big. So after that, I just dropped to my knees. I lost all my air. I couldn't see. I remember like being on my, like, you know, on my hands and knees, and I felt the barrel of the gun on my head. I felt this barrel just shaking still on my head, and so I smacked it away. But there was a shotgun, so it sprayed. So it still like hit me in the head really good, but it didn't blow my head off like a watermelon, just to pieces. So after that, I got a little sight, and I was like, okay, I'm still moving. Like, I don't know what's going on with my head, but I know I'm alive. And I remember I looked up, and he was just staring at me, and he took the butt of the gun and like smashed me in the face with it. Knocks my teeth out. Like, I fall back, but I could still see at this point, and I don't understand like how I can see because I have so much damage to like my lung and heart. I felt like these hands like in my pocket digging for my car keys. Like, when he's trying to grab my keys, like I ended up on my stomach. And I look up and I see my Jeep Commander driving away, just driving away, flying away. And I said, okay, well, either I stay laid down in this spot right here and die, or I try to get up. So I try to push myself up, but like take my left arm, take it right out. So gunshot to the chest bigger than a soup bowl, and then my head all mashed up. And I'm trying to push myself off the ground. Kept trying, and I'm like, all right, you know what, one more. I'm gonna try it one more time. And I pushed up, and then out of nowhere, I felt these arms from underneath me pick me up. And I remember like swinging, trying to grab someone, and there was no one around. And I was just like standing up still, like a drunk, like, you know, zombie, just like. And I got this like a shove, like someone shoved me from behind to go forward. I must have got about 7, 8 feet. I just fell straight down. Because I remember I hit the ground like on my stomach. I'm like, all right, well, I went as far as I could. Yeah, this shit's hurting like too much. Like, let me just close my eyes and start relaxing. Sure enough, I closed my eyes and all the pain started going away. And then I'd wake up real fast and be like, this is not right. I just got shot 30 seconds ago. How's the pain stopping? And I'm like, don't worry about it. You know, go back to sleep. That's a good feeling when you're sleeping. So I'd pass back out a little bit, and then I'd be like dying. And then I'd wake myself up, like my own voice, third person. And, hey man, get up, man, you're dying. And then like, I did that, and then I heard, hey, hey. And I like started hearing this guy, and he's like running over to me. So when I fell, there was like a probation officer at a stoplight, and he seen me fall out of the woods, like all bloody broad daylight. And then I felt his hand on my back, like, hey man, you're fine, don't close your eyes. You know, come on, the ambulance is coming, they're coming. And I'm like, man, like, I just want to sleep, leave me alone, man. But then in my head, I'm like, no, you don't, because if you fall asleep, you're sleeping forever. And I remember like getting on the stretcher, and they're putting me in the stretcher, and just like the facial expression of the paramedic was just like, just a stunned look on his face, but in the same time telling me I looked great. I looked beautiful, like you're gonna be fine. And then it just like blacked out and I went to like I was outside of the ambulance on my skateboard, filming it, like rolling telephoto filming of the ambulance, and the doors open, everyone's panicking, and I see my legs coming out, and like once it gets to my head, blacked out. I was pronounced dead on arrival right there. John Doe had nothing on me. They said, you know, Doc, this kid's, you know, gone, and Doc said, no. You know, I'm here, let me try. Like when I was pronounced dead on arrival, like throw him in the body bag, he's dead. Like the doctor said no, like, you know, I'm gonna try to help him. This man doesn't know who I am. He could have said, yeah, he's dead, all right, I'm going back home. He said no, like I feel something, I'm gonna try. Did the heart surgery, gave me 24 hours to, you know, see if I was still breathing on the ventilator. After 24 hours, I was still alive. They fixed my arm and my head, and I woke up 3 days later.
It looked
I
like
remember like
birdshot,
waking up and it was
which is
still
just
all
a
white,
bunch of little
like,
pellets
white everywhere,
instead
and I'm
of
like,
a slug, which is one
dead.
big fucking,
dead.
Wait, so it's little
I'm
pellets,
17,
one
I'm
bullet?
dead. And then
yeah, one
it starts to like
cartridge.
come in, and it's like,
Like
I see
little
curtains, like a freaking oxygen
like.
tank, and I'm like starting. And then out of nowhere, bam, perfect vision again. I'm in a hospital, and then I'm like tied down to the bed because I got the breathing tube in me. I got this thing pumping air into my lungs, so I start freaking out. There was a nurse there the whole time though. I didn't even notice her because I was all tied down, and I just hear screaming like, he's awake, he's awake. And I see her like running out of the room, and then like running back, like 3 more nurses and the doctor, just this woman just coming around the corner flying, like throws her clipboard in the air, runs up to me. Oh my God, you look beautiful. Like, and in my head, I'm like, what do you mean? I look beautiful. I can't even, what's going on? Like, am I tied down? And then she's like, all right, 1, 2, and like on 2, she pulled that thing out of my throat, man. I got to breathe again, like real air, like, you know, of course I coughed up a ball of tar and BBs, but everyone was just looking at me like, you're alive, like you're breathing on your own right.
That's good enough. All right, guys, that's Ross Capicchion. I forgot his name. And just let me know what you guys think. You know, what you guys think. Leave a like, comment, whatever.